Okay. Wonderful. Well, it looks like we are ready to get going again for the last event of the day, and in fact of the week here at ForSpace, although activities continue over the next few days here with our guests joining us in Montreal. And the sun has come out. It's done a full 180 here today. We've opened the doors, let some air in. Everybody is satiated with some delicious food now, I believe. So without further ado, I'll be passing it to Debbie and Hristo for our final event of the day. Over to you, Debbie.
Am I on? Yes. Welcome to our final public program to cap off the Romani-Translation Summer Institute. And we're going to have a very simple format to do this. We've asked all of the students who participated in the Summer Institute to translate some excerpts, some of them from poetry, some of them from the work, The Little Prince. And they're going to have an opportunity to come to the mic here, read their translation, and explain in a few words some of the specificities, what they encountered, what it's about, just expound a little bit on that. From there, we're going to give a little homage to the Canadian Ronald Lee, who's no longer with us. He passed away in 2020, but left quite a legacy here for the communities here in Canada. So we'll pay homage to him and then attribute the 2 prizes that we have chosen for participants in the Summer Institute. And I guess we could start now if you wanted to start with
So we were thinking that the students should show some of the translations which they made. I would like to invite Nishko to read what he translated. Could you please come here? Sonia, do you have anything for reading?
So, do I need to get the original? Okay. How do I bring this down? I'm very short. Sorry.
Janusz, take a seat.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, thanks. Okay, so this is a fairy tale that I was given that I translated that is called Cheraya Beshlikora. So here we go. Birvaku tande purane bresha sasyak cheori korkorisa sande dunyava sokelakidei ta lakodat mule. Kaya cheori saskadichin chorori kai nasa cheroro te beshela sandre tane yekrevatitsit kai te pashliolas. Nasla kanchi sade patave kai huravelas. Tanasa habe sade yek felia marno kai kayak de las lake soke milasas las lake. Amai cheoris as la chita pachivali talia te pachala sandodel talia lako drom. Sugo araklia yek puro kayachilo predromes kirig. Chiurio dema kanchi te ha bokava pendiao puro I cheoriate. Tabigo jasa I cheori diasauri felia marno pureske. O delte colartu dianglal I cheori tajalas. Canasas gadicin dur kai nashti di kela sikulava o agaveski I cheori araklia yek chauro sade yek gad furadia. Molisarabtu dema kanchi teucharav moshoro but shil mangero vela so chauro. I cheori sasla mila leske demek dia lakitsaji o chaureske. Sade tsire piripe araklia yek rakliori kai furavela sade yek tsikno gata izdralna shilestar. Cheo pausava andoshil birokliasa rovela si rakliori. Nashti desman yek rokla dovru I cheori todia tela tadia laki rokla I rakliorake. Amasovna Yekavera chloro avilota pendia nashti desma sostea pausava vandoshil demek icheuri dia laki sostea taichi achili nangi andicaliriat saricheuri achili dovru icherea pele kataro milosho sasea beshlikora.
Thank you very much. Sonia, do you have anything? Janusz, come and sit here, please. Sonia? Do you have anything for translation? Translated? Okay, after the Janusz, Sonia, can you read part of something what you translated?
I can read those texts that you gave to me about Mahmed. Also, I can read the second part of Bubili text if you want.
Okay.
What do you want?
Oh.
Okay. Then let's start from this text. Дилем тай барилем анде Босния. Метира оспиря тай харконе котлоря. Мандисас панде шапанч берш. Мемулем. Вонекам лете прахонман. Таленді на дінети тіренкада. Бо пеленді регробки на сасотхан. Анделенді каліпхув. Мирно кропо ляти тірньол. Паладешу панч діса, воне дінет сиррапхув. Бо треби сас тиріцарено ужімос. Дуралка тарикатуна. Адетхан кай нікона ракеламан. Андетхан карі нікона авеламанди. Мирнокропо шорділя та гамісайля лапхув'яса. Акана мирно алав сино оді. Меуря операзоря катарвунеті ушаля лечірестіри. Меродав мандії пача. Ме піряв хмари, та й парував хмари сарлицине грастен. Обришин халавелман, і балвал делдума манса, овудут делманзор. Меоря операзоря катарвунеті ушаля лечірестіри. Ме парував хмари сарлицине грастен. Окхам столваш манді одром карін Індія. Та лахмари медікав і вишаля ла індіятіри. Мемегнісавов, межелем пезал, андемал лагангатірі, айограст рісайля перадуга левунуто черестірі. So that's all. So this text. Oh. So and now I will. Okay, thank you. Yeah, and I read this text, Bubili, a few days ago, and it was a little part of this text first. So now I can read the second part, if you want. So do I need it to read in English or only in Romanese is enough?
Well, maybe you can read it in English. So, Debbie is reading English.
Ah, okay, you have this text. Okay, then let's start from this.
All at once? Wait, let me check. Mm-hmm.
So no, I read it. Yeah.
So, okay. Until where?
Until you wish.
Well, that's a dangerous. Do you want to do it paragraph by paragraph?
Yeah.
All right, so I'll start here, and then when I stop.
Okay.
From where? From here, right? Okay. Okay. So there I am, alone and scared about what will happen to me. I'm separated from my family, and I'm only thinking one thing: what could happen to my parents and relatives?
Okay. Аканаме семьежено, мандидар, бо мене жонав, совне тірена манса. Месим дурмерне єрестер, і дав гиндо каті палаєк. Сотірел померне єреса, та й моненса.
After several days trying to figure out a way to get out of this prison, I escaped to the border with Yugoslavia, where I met a fellow Sinti. In the evenings, I was singing and dancing in the taverns to make a little money. So, days go by, and I ask people if they have seen my family, when someone told me they know my father and can help find him.
Ме зумоваласти нашав, анде кадава баруно, і манде кадаві жиля. Ме на шлем по югославську границя. Коте меді клем пейсті амалес. Восас андай синтуря, саріме. Манді прижиляпи, коте ти ділабав, дайте цлав, анде баруря, пайратя. Каті затирав набут лове. Каді началося время. І ме кажно дєс пушавося манушендар, чи надіклеване мерно єрі. Є кроваріко пендя манді, сожанел мерне дадес, і дащидел те жутіл манді теракхавлес.
But months go by and there's no news about where my family is. So I start traveling from Yugoslavia back to Graz in Austria, then to the Austrian Alps. I'm alone and only want to find my family so we can reunite, and then I will know they are safe.
Next paragraph.
One day
I
later,
did not have it, yeah.
One day later, I see my uncle in the mountains where there are wagons, and I'm so relieved and happy to see all my family. My mother and father, grandmother, uncles, and aunts. I hug them tightly.
І кеді сестер, меді клем лека кос. Воса санде плая. Кайтірдьона сурдона. Месим асфарте лошало. Соді клем сапеско єрі. Лада, ледадес, лабаба, лека конен і лабібян. Мезоралес облемлен.
On June 27th, 1939, the Austrian police take us. They hand us over to the Germans, who send off my family in some trucks. I'm frightened since now my family is sent away, and I do not know what will happen next. Right outside of the gates of Dachau, the Germans line us up, and they have a board with a list and my name and number, Z34016. They tattooed this number on my hand. In Dachau, all the prisoners were mixed together with prisoners who were very old, Roma and Sinti, Jehovah's Witnesses, and Jews.
По більшо енято іюні, як міє еняшила тряндо енято берш, а мен заліне австріяті халавде. Вони передіне мен лемутуненді. Це веверіка бішалина смирно їрі, пебаре грузові ураля. Ман ля траш, сомерно їрі, ладалтар, і мене женав солен савела майдур. Ворта пашапорта англадахао, а мен стодє муторя андорядо, і ленде андевас сас санді, песавяти сас скрійме мерні лалі та мерно номері. Зет тріншила саранда, де шушов. Вони тірдє тату, коли номерен саманді по вас, андедахао сауре старде. Андедахао сауре старде манушен, а місарде лепуренца, а інке машкараменди сас і ром, і сінтуря, свідетеля Єгови та й біболде.
World War II began officially in September 1939, when Germany invaded Poland. Then we were shipped to Buchenwald. Everything happened so fast and I felt very lost. I was getting transferred from camp to camp and wondered if my family was still alive. A couple of years later, in December 1941, after barely making it and still alive, all the Austrian Roma and Sinti were moved to a labor camp in Austria called Gusen I. I was separated by barracks from my uncle and father, but I was very afraid for my dad because he was weak from not having had enough food. He was losing his strength, and I knew he would need help.
It was We have two paragraphs, yeah? Okay. Дуйтулема кумаримос официально веля анде сентябри екмия и няшала тряндо нято берш. Каламутря дине анде Польша. Тунча мен бишалде андо Бухенвальдо. Сатирдя пекадя ито сумеха сардилем анде мерне годяте. Ман траднас екела герестар анде авер. И меса время давас гиндо чижундоинке мирно ери. Кала начеля дуйберш по декабри андо екмия еняшела саранда ектоберш савуре австрияки Рома та синторя сас перендярде анде бутяко лагері анде Австрія. Колагері бушолас огузено єк. Ме фарте даравас палапес кодат, бо восас мегніме та й канч нахалас. Ме жанавас солесі требуй уажутімос. So, that's all.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for your attention.
Sonia?
Okay. I have small part of The Little Prince. Ivi sargia co fox. Aciuf de vesa prendea. Hetu prendea fox. Coda miro pociorał dzianes. Łacie spes dike USA. Coda so andrau jak chęca na dikeja. Kaj te na pobisteres. Tero szerutno prendea pałeste. Coda entiro ciro kaj te beshes al ludziacha. Sikaweja kajoisi budważno. Zaweper koda. Manusza pobisterem koda sociacipen prędzia o fox tu naści pobisteres. Thank you.
Fox is in English. Sarsi po polski fox.
Liz, I was, I don't know, maybe in Romanes is Maćka katowasz?
Mačka
I don't know.
katovaš.
I don't know.
Okay. What are the other students? Dalibor? Do you have anything to read?
Read part of Little Prince too, and this is early dialect from Southeast Serbia. So, Emirinđape, evo šekći džukljake. A čov devlesa, penđa. A čov devlesa, evo šekći džuklji penđa. Ake si mi garavdini, buci vojsadini, hačarde diklepes numaj evileja, saso importantno eakenge si bidiklo. Saso importantno eakenge si bidiklo, pendajek drom, penda ociknota garno, sartej čarel andigođi. Odrom si na kavdanu preti luluđi, kerel ti luluđi te avel importantno. Od ova drom si na kavdem upremi luluđi, pendajek drom, penda ociknota garno, sartej čarel andigođi. O manuša bistardea kavača čipe, pen i voščip čukli. Numaja dava, na tromate bistre. Džikomeripe, a čove holjardo koleske sokerden bi vošćako. Tusan haljardo te luluđake. Mesem holjardo me luluđake, penda jekdrom, penda ociknota garno, sarte i čarel andigođi. Thank you.
Thank you. Daniel? Do you have anything to read?
So this is a translation of a poem, Gypsy Life, Romano Givipen. Vakeravatuke, prala. Palomiro Givipen, Aiso, Savohin, Tesakoromes. Miricipa hinikali, Ukavejovo. Mirayaka hinekale upare. Bala sar erat. Miroma sasto uzoralo. Nikoman na kamel. Ačauča korkoro, outsider. Sarteman hine lepra, šai čala fajtaha avav, korkoro. Odaja peskre čavorenge penen. Araktut, mročo. Oroma adaj piren. Šajtut čoren. Lača avka daravel. Dik sokeres, mričaj. Mafigin o gadavri. Potuke čorena palošelo. Eraklipalis avela andre mira dakri šatra. Hej tu, purije, penmange soela. Umiri daj penela solaha ela. Generale burni kostar, čivela o karti, dikela androcak, somešaj maškar lendekerav. Tenamangal vaj čorav. Sako dženo džal premande. Sako klaunos mandar peras kerel. Penel hojsom čorikano romoro. So čorel grasten teavka. Nanemano keratuno tan prala. Šohaman najela. Uljom bi peskro odamesom. Čorikano bi puvakro.
Thank you very much. Camila?
Hello, everyone. I translated the excerpt from The Little Prince. Uaugelas paleki eveshu nirikoni. Ajdevleha penjas. Jadevleha penjas eveshu nirikoni. Kadahin miro garudo. Nisavo paripen odanane. Žužes dikel o manušča ileha. Savoro čačikano nadikas lejakhensa. Savoro čačikano nadikas lejakhensa. Penja spále ocikno princos, kaj odate na bystrel. Oda, keď si sala spes kra rúžaha kerel la rúža ke lakro baripen. Oda, keď si soma spes kra rúžaha, penja spále ocikno princos, kaj odate na bystrel. O manuša bister de kada čačipen, eveshu nirikoni penjas. Tu oda ma bister, tiro dživipen pirel savoreske, soke peste panjal. Tiro dživiper pirel laružake. Miro dživipen pirel laružake, penjas pale ocikno princos, kaj odate na bistrel.
Okay.
Hannah, do you have any translation? Okay.
Sorry about that, Hannah.
Are you coming?
She does. It's just I didn't print it out for her. So she transcribed it. To our listening public, will be just a few seconds here.
Hello, everyone. Oh gosh, you forget I'm a Lungiromni. So I need a little taller. Yes, thank you. So this is in 2.5 parts, I guess. For those of you who know, I was trained as an opera singer through my high school years. So for my poem, I translated A Gypsy's Life also into Rotipa, which is Norwegian Romani. I set it to music to the tune of Solveig's song, which is the most famous Norwegian aria, and changed the text from talking about the plight of Norwegians to the plight of Norwegian Romani-Sal, or Vandrier, in their own language. So I was thinking I would start with just reading the translation. And the way I'm going to do it, since my dad is watching and he's not familiar with A Gypsy's Life, is I'm just going to read from the start and then nod at Danko, and he's going to repeat it in English. And then for the very last half piece, I told you about my project this summer, which is I'm translating the first novel ever written in the Sami language into English, which was written over 100 years ago. And I just wanted to share one paragraph from it. I'm going to read the Sami and Danko's going to read the English, because I think it's very relevant for what we're doing here today. Let me just grab my water bottle. Can I do that? And then we'll go.
We will be back soon.
Your voice is very pleasant.
Okay, so gick vandrigiben.
I will tell you, mate.
No, that was the title.
A Gypsy's Life.
Okay. Meros rakrar toderos mandemalla.
I will tell you, mate.
Omtus meros giben. A gibena tosas vandriar.
About my life and that of every gypsy.
Mortia meros hankar tomlo.
My skin is dark and brown.
Jahken hankar kala a tugalo.
My eye is black and gloomy.
Palle tamlo siktorati.
My hair the color of the night.
Truppen sorale auchi tukkalo.
My body healthy and sturdy.
Ci foro argav canisarle meros andri.
No society will have me.
Meros drigrar korko.
I am just a lonely and outsider.
Tikkar andu sikto Ishmael. Sas mero kamar hankar natar.
Like a leper, I am regarded.
Oh, and the next line.
limited to my family alone.
Takria rakrar to chavoar.
Mothers to their child will say,
Raktero mande raklo. Vandriana tradar prederke. Adasno nastra chara dero chavo. The whole text, she says to the son.
Beware, my son, the gypsies are around, and they may steal you, child.
Yes. Proteana dasnos rakra dakria, raktero mandece. Sutarci fullano issane auri. Shak dasno choro ci dova van linjen. The whole text for the son.
Her daughter, she will warn, beware, my daughter, do not hand the laundry out, lest they steal it from the line.
Oce avar tu serganen tamande dakri. Hei, dero, purono dakri, pava tumeros.
And the girl will come to my mother's tent. Hey, you granny, tell me my fortune. So mother will then read her fortune. Read her palm or cards or with a crystal ball.
So kanisar vasnus kera andalatemmen. Ci buttara. Yeah, pava tumeros. Okay, yes. Yeah. Yes. So kanisar vasnus kera andala temmen. Ci buttara en aura chora ninna. Oh, shoot, 1 second. Which is, I apologize, folks. I had to transcribe this, but I also have ADHD. So we're coming on to the part where it looks like I just skipped a section. So give me a second to go onto my phone. Yeah, there we go. Ninna pavar dakri todava, drabre vasta stuk, nenne hilprepa fan kerta adicka mengre. Aburro en kara meros tattar, gre chorar. The first line.
And passers-by will call me gypsy, horse thief.
Mero chi kamar chora angibenen meros.
Yet I have never stolen in my life.
So kanisar vosnius kera andaletemmen, ci buttare en amanga aur achora, to the question mark.
But what trade does society let me have, apart from begging or stealing?
Nenne meros hankar dravont ninna citem.
So I am miserable with no nation.
Sos dingelor cera le auri meros, o koror meros rahtelo tatter, gre churr osavo. Up to horse thief and such.
Every clown can mock me and call me bloody gypsy, horse thief, and the like.
Ci keritem kamar mero manne malla.
No homeland do I have, my pal.
Ci furo aurgar drigra teppalitu.
Nor will I ever have one.
Amero le ci jek, drovant ninna ci tem kera meros. To the end.
Born to no nation, that's who I am. Miserable, with no country of my own.
So that was Rotipa, which is Norwegian Romani. Go ahead. Okay, we're having a technical difficulty, everyone. Just hang on for 1 second. We're gonna come back. The aria is gonna be the last part of this. Well, since I need Daniel for this one more part, and the aria, since you already know the words now, so do you, Dad. So we'll get that. But the way we're gonna do this is just one paragraph in the Northern Sami language. You don't speak that. So I'm just gonna read the paragraph, and then you're gonna read and then you're gonna read it in English. And that way it won't be confusing, except for the part where it says like or something at the top, because that was just a typo. So Yeah. And I believe Marit Brea Hendrickson from Guabdegegno is watching this. So thank you for your help with my translation work. Son chuodjali ja vadjaisi da kuvlui. Ja son moitta godi karasi tan paikkisaamid. Ilet illa olu fiettu. Ei si goika edja dade embo diedu mangai. Ja jus oktaga sin olmos tjerdas juovda gukki puida tittui kosi edja. Te si kahta skedja ja ei tiedä edja go mogalega lahtestallet. Easi udnosha giasa gesturit pajas tjuvkehussa. Tan päivi kosi udnojit ja aadet altsisiasit ja äädjaset oletmuida, tan siema voika vuoda, ko ära maailmi olmos tjerdainle, tan päivi raaja saamit eshat kyhkit, le voijalas juvan daja suoppahus almos tjerda. Ja te bodhisutnia dan savaldat, vera de päivi farga, tjuvko ditche. And he will read this in English.
Abba got up and started to walk home. He began to complain violently about the Sami of that place. They had lost both their moral principles and sense of empathy. They were no longer driven by pursuit of knowledge and self-betterment. Nonetheless, they become bitter and envious of the Samis who choose to do so. These Sami willingly act out of spite toward those of their own that find success. They do not wish for anyone else to advance or prosper. Amidst his anger, a new thought occurred to Abo. The day that Sami can act towards each other with the same dedication to justice and righteousness that they wanted from the Daja and the majority community, and others who treated them with prejudice, will be the day that Sami are no longer discriminated against or held to be inferior. Finally, Abo prayed a silent prayer. I wish that day would come soon. And on that day, may the sun rise for the Sami and shine upon us as we become the society we have the potential to be.
Yes, so that was a translation from Norse Sami into English. That's never been done before. And I've been rereading that passage in Sami in English this whole week after everything Ju said about our Romanipe, just because it's important that we support each other. And, you know, to become the society that we are, we need to treat each other with the respect that we deserve. And I just thought it was interesting noticing this. Anders Larsson, it's written like as his life story. When he came back to the Sami community he grew up in, and they were like, we don't know you anymore. You're educated. You're a Norwegian. You're not one of us. So as we've been thinking about parallels between minority communities, that was that. And the last part of this, as I mentioned, is part of the poem I read to you in Rotipa, which is Norwegian Romani. I set to music. And I set to specifically an aria called Solvei's Song, which is from a piece called Peer Gynt. And as my dad is watching, I just wanted to use this to say thank you for sharing music with me. And thank you for all that you had to go through growing up with Grandmom Lillian, the Gypsy Princess of Rockledge County, Pennsylvania. That's Romani American for you. And one of my goals in this life is to be able to speak Romani as well as she did, and her mother, or I guess Pagardi or Anglo-Romani, as well as she did, and her mother before her. And I am really excited to meet Juice's friend, who is gonna teach me everything I don't know, right? So I'm gonna move this since for those of you who are opera fans, you will know it is taboo to sing opera with a mic. You're supposed to have your voice radiate. Verus rocra tu derui sanctus Ci faro ergav canis oile merus andri merus triglar porco Icarandro Ishmael seas mero camar Ancarnatai apuro anakeror merus tatar grichorer meruci camar shura Ceritem camar mande mala. Ci foro ergav trigrati palito, amero lerci. Ninna meros ancar trafoncitem acerro meros rocrar tuteros antos meros iben iben tu sas mandriar Thanks, Dad. You can sign off and drive upstate.
Thank you very much, Hannah. It was very nice to hear the Norwegian dialect, which is not so popular. And yeah. Sorry? Okay, yeah. So thank you for your performance once more, Hannah. It was great.
It's Ukrainian Roma language. That's why I think it will be a little difficult, but I will try to translate it to English together. Okay. It's okay? No. So I will read and then you will try to guess or to understand. I don't know how to do it.
Which dialect?
Vlachorya dialect.
Okay.
Ряте и балвал марелас. Шинел поикхатар катуна. Чукни беетости ровела. Брешин питя из крискуна. Майсов шаворо. Кадалиндра. Тапе навреша уренди. Савеби резку вуряйли. Саркхам святое тесара. Аме ектане сауре. Пістроє молитва пебрума. Коленді. Сона хасалі. So. Who would like to translate or to try to do it? I don't know. I do not have this English. I will read your Ukrainian, Russian, and you will translate again.
Okay, we can try to do that.
Ночью ветер бил.
Andiratiu balval marel.
No. In English.
Oh.
I read in Romani already.
Psst, psst. Okay, once more.
Ночью ветер бил.
At the night, the wind blows.
Порвался шатер.
Еще один раз.
Порвался шатер. Катуна.
The tent was... No, it doesn't work.
Okay.
Nashti. No.
Yeah, and the second and the last one for
Okay.
today. Леманушести осунос не сайвал, де Олеса сарпомалово пірел, а й потішає ще не спиду сляди, та й чері сикавели зжуїмос. Де врямами паріли манушесті, як слядо сарокам ряте хаїй. Манушка вдел пушел муклея кенца. Мирного траю туті потердєм, доді ні соса песна хохававас, та состер канаханас мандукха, глабако андуцера велас гласо, білайло павтішаю слядотьо, ме коркоро подром тарйоско жавас, а лесті от пенело дела лав. Мирно шаво, састути кана біда, ме андяраус туту препевас, ай тє ясва, косел де лесті їда.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you for your attention.
Thank you to all our students for these beautiful readings in many, many ways. It's hard to follow this. If I could have the first photograph, that would be great. And I'm just going to say a few words about Ronald Lee and then play a very, very short clip. We have here to the far left is Ron, born in 1934, passed away in 2020, a Romani Canadian born in Montreal, a journalist and author. He taught for a time, 5 years, a spring seminar on the Romani diaspora in Canada at the University of Toronto. He also was a founding member, former executive director, and chairman of the board of directors of the Roma Community Center in Toronto. You can still see this, the website. He published 4 books, Goddamn Gypsy, a semi-autobiographical novel about Romani life in Montreal and Canada in the 1960s. Later republished under its original title of The Living Fire by Magoria Books of Toronto. Also The Gypsy Invasion, about the arrival of Roma Convention refugee applicants from the Czech Republic beginning in 1997. The Learn Romani book, an 18-lesson self-study course of Calderaș Romani, published in 2005, and a 2-volume dictionary of Calderaș Romani, published by Magoria Books of Toronto, the first comprehensive bi-directional Calderaș English Calderaș dictionary. He also published numerous newspaper magazine articles about Roma in Canada and the Romani refugee situation in Canada, as well as academic articles such as Chapter 9 of Gypsy Law, Romani Legal Traditions and Culture, and that's where I wanted to end that one. Throughout his career, he gave many public lectures for colleges and universities, both in Canada and the US, as well as for various organizations, libraries, and schools in the Greater Toronto area. He served as a consultant for a wide array of Romani-related projects, films, and initiatives, and worked with legal professionals assisting Roma Convention refugee claimants. He was a certified FLAC Romani interpreter, and his consultancy was often combined with interpretation and translation, as in his role on the Immigration and Refugee Board of Canada. He received an honorary doctorate degree, LLD, in November 2014 from Queen's University here in Canada. And I think we'll play the short clip that we have of him.
International Roma Day was when a group of activists from the Western European countries gathered at Orpington in Britain and decided to adopt the Romani flag, the Romani anthem, to form the International Romani Union, and to create a petition to give to the United Nations to ask for some sort of representation for the Romani people in the United Nations. All in that, I was an activist who went to Britain to work with other activists to make all of this happen. I worked with Gretchen Puxton, Vanko Ruda from Paris, Matteo Maximov, a Romani author, and we did the planning to put all of this together. We had a preliminary meeting in London, and we had it all set up to happen in Orpington on April the 8th in 1971.
Zapier's automation is the
Thank you. And the last picture, please.
automation isn't magic. It's Zapier. Get
No problem. And I might add, there's nobody in Canada who doesn't have a wonderful story about Ron. He was influential in so many, many ways. His stories are legendary as well. Kadina, I think you worked with him for quite some time in Toronto. I know we at Romani-P, we had many discussions with him. He was a lover of the Romani language and curious, always wondering where words would be, what the origins of certain words and expressions were. The dictionaries that he wrote came out of his lengthy experience as a translator and interpreter here through the Immigration and Refugee Board in Canada, but also through the RCC, the Roma Community Center in Toronto. And so we, I think everybody really thanks him for his contributions here. I don't know, Ian, would you like to say a word or two?
We met, I think, in 1969, which is almost half a century ago. And stayed in touch ever since. His effort for our people was a struggle from the very beginning. More so at the beginning, back then, because any Romani person with an education was seen as not exactly a traitor, but you were moving away from the culture by becoming educated. But now, given this, where we are today, and the people who are here today, we know that that is a silly belief that you cannot be Romani and educated at the same time. But he had to, as others of us had to, put up with criticisms from people in the what's still called the Gypsy Law Society, people who studied Roma, but who needed Romani people to be living in wagons and eating around the campfire and certainly not reading and writing. But Ronnie proved them wrong. And he worked with Russell Dimitro. He learned Kuldarash Vlach Romani fluently and produced a magnificent grammar and dictionary, which I urge everybody to get a copy of if it's still available from Megoria. And he's sorely missed. We would be back and forth every day, emails, telephone calls, and he's left a big hole behind him. So you're still with us, Ronnie.
So here at the time of our first Romani Translation Summer Institute, which perhaps will continue in another iteration in another university next year, we would like to attribute what we're calling the Ronald Lee Translator Award. And this year, the founding year, is going to be given to two people for two special reasons. One, for having participated in this Summer Institute and given so much, contributed, translated, offered a good deal of experience to all of the attendees. As we know, translators are not just linguistic experts. Translators are fundamentally interested and open to ideas of difference, expressions. There can never be a translator who would not be interested in others and getting to know how to communicate with them. And I think this should also be celebrated in addition to mastery of the language, an openness to culture, an openness to others, curiosity, a passion for the language. And this year, for this, we're going to attribute the prize in the form of two books. I'll let you know now that the certificates and the awards will all be generated next week in our special program, so that we have everything. Right now, we haven't done that, but we do have the awards here. And so this year we would like to attribute this to Dalibor Hanic. For all that you've done, and helped us learn about Romani language and culture and all that you do. Thank you very much. And the second is for the achievement in translation that Christo will speak about.
Well, the second award goes to Janusz Panchenko for his work on translating poems of Russian, Ukrainian, and Polish authors into Romani, translating of Romani fairy tales from Ukraine into Russian and Ukrainian language, for translating movies, subtitles from English into Romani, and for his published and not published yet translation of poems and the book of Bubili, which we wrote together. I mean, I wrote the text together with another girl, and he made the translation. So, Janusz Panchenko.
I would like to say I'm very happy to be here, in such difficult time for my country and for Ukrainian Roma. As you know, thousands of Roma became refugees in Europe, and thousands of Roma has lost their house, their home, for example, as me. And a lot of Roma not alive longer, in our country. And some Roma now are fighting for their family, for Roma people, also for Ukrainian people, in the Ukrainian army with Russians. Because I know that people from Europe and from America support Ukraine, and I would like to say thank you for your support for our country and for our people, Roma people in Ukraine.
Dalibor.
First of all, congratulations. I'm very honored to be awarded with this award. And I'm a little bit surprised, but I would like to tell something that when I thinking about Ronald Lee, 50 years ago, more than 50 years ago, when some people starting to dream and to change something in Roma life and to dream about better life for our future. He was one of these people, and I'm so glad that today with us is an Amaro Kakoyanko, and he's a part actually of our history, of beginning of our history. And for me, it's very important that Ronald Lee was a journalist, as me. And I know that he dedicated his life, whole life, to deconstruct all stereotypes, all prejudice about Roma. And this award is a honor, but I think it's obligation too, to proceed and to go on the way which Kakoyanko started to make, and Ronald Lee and Yul Brynner and all people on 1970s. Thank you very much. Thank you, Debbie. Thank you, Christo, and special thanks to my Hedina. So recommend me this year, and I hope so that we will continue to make these changes. In past 2 weeks, we all the time speaking about some metaphors. I really believe that we are all here some kind of very good fishermen, and we are very capable to catch some little fish or tuna or I don't know, shark. But I really believe that if we start to work together, we can make one big net, and in the future we can catch some big whale, and it will be our goal for next year to work together like a journalist, like a linguist, like an activist, like I don't know, like an activist, young students, next generations, poetries, and everybody who will, like a Ronald Lee, dedicate all life to make changes. Thank you very much.
Yes, I would like to thank all the students for their hard work in these 2 weeks for learning the methods and strategies for translation. And thank you for your patience and active involvement in the lectures, in the workshops which were given by different distinguished professors from Concordia University or from Europe and India. So I think that you all did learn something from this visit to Concordia University. I'm speaking about the Roma students from Europe, but also most probably the non-Roma students from Concordia University also learned something from the Roma students in the communication with them. Of course, that they did learn a lot from the professors, I'm sure. So thank you very much for your participation in all the workshops and lectures. Thank you.
I'm not too well seasoned with all this. So. Yes, thank you for everything. And
so what?
thank you.
Well, yeah, tomorrow we should continue still.
Yes, we do have one more day, actually. So we'll be at La Converse in Leila's offices. We'll start early in the morning, so we'll be meeting here in front of the university, and it will be a shorter day. We'll probably finish around 2 after a buffet at the office. And I guess that's it for now.
Yeah, have a nice evening, and we see each other later during the dinner or tomorrow morning we should go together from the dormitory to the office of Leila. Okay, all right, thank you.